baby.
The Day of Piglets, son. By Benjamin Hoff. Tibetan Buddhism. Please concentrate so that the bed does not slide from underneath us. Sir.
Yeah.
In Tibet, until the communist invasion by Mao Zedong.
Watch out, Sushi.
Ow!
What happened?
No, I thought she was going to scratch me, but she didn't hang on.
Why did you say ow?
Well, she was hanging on to my sock, and underneath my sock are my feet. Or inside my socks are my feet. And as she was falling, she decided to land on her feet instead of holding on to my...
Yeah, usually they hold on and then it's...
Hold on to my sock.
Okay.
Alright, so who is Mao Zedong?
The person that declared war?
He was, yes. Like the king of China, and he attacked Tibet. But what did he want from Tibet? He wanted to capture a particular person. Who did he want to capture? The Dalai Lama, who is the spiritual leader of Tibet, the Buddhists in Tibet. But the Dalai Lama went to where?
Somewhere else.
He dressed up as a soldier and walked over the mountains to India. And when the generals talked, they said, "Did you capture Tibet?" Of course. I mean, they didn't have an army, much of an army, right? And well, did you capture the Dalai Lama? I said, "No." And so then they said, "Well, we lost." We lost. That was the movie that I saw. Until the communist invasion in Tibet, ancient ways were preserved in the Tibetan Buddhism, many of the secrets and practices of which predate Buddhism by thousands of years, were kept and preserved. In Japan, they can be found in some of the rituals and beliefs of the Shinto religion. The Shinto religion is the spirit way, folk religion. In China, they have been passed on through Taoism. So in Tibet, it was passed down through Buddhism. In China, it was passed down through Taoism. And in Japan, it was passed down through Shinto.
Yeah, Shinto.
Whoa! What, you stepped on him?
Yeah.
Take off your shoes so you can be more sensitive.
She was laying on the thing again.
And despite violent opposition from China's communist government, they continue to be passed on today. I read a missionary book about missionaries that went to China. And the communists talked to a missionary and said, "You have been here 100 years, you missionaries, and you have yet to reach the masses."
What's that?
The masses of people in China, billion, right? Yet, we communists have been in here only 10 years, and everybody has heard of the Red Book.
What?
Well, the missionaries had the Bible, and nobody had heard of it in China. But everybody had heard of the Red Book of the communists.
I've never heard of the Red Book.
You haven't. And many people my age and older may never hear about it. Now, why am I different? Because I studied Tai Chi from a Chinese man. That's why I'm different. That's why I heard about Taoism and other things, right? So these religions continue to be passed on. Briefly, Taoism is a way of living in harmony with Tao, the way of the universe, the character of which is revealed in the workings of the natural world. Taoism could be called either a philosophy or a religion, or neither, since in its various forms it does not match up with Western ideas or definitions of either one. What is a philosophy? I think it means the study of wisdom. In China, Taoism is what might be called the counterbalance of Confucianism. What is Confucianism? The codified, ritualized teachings of Kung Fu Tse, or Master Kung, better known in the West as Confucius. Although Confucianism is not a religion in the Western sense, it could be said to bear a certain resemblance to puritanical Christianity in its man-centered, nature-ignoring outlook. Its emphasis on rigid conformity and its authoritarian, no-nonsense attitude toward life. Alright, so in Confucianism, people don't smile. I would say that would explain it, right? They're very strict. For instance, breakfast, everybody must brush their teeth before they sit down for breakfast. Everybody has to eat breakfast together in the living room, right? Or in the dining room. Nobody can eat it in their room unless they're excused, right? Do you hear me? Alright, so these are very strict type of parents, Confucianism. But in some ways, is it wrong to be that strict? Max? What, shouldn't people be dressed for breakfast? You remember that movie where...
Well, I'm never dressed for breakfast. I dress after breakfast.
I see.
Sometimes. When my breakfast is already up and I just woke up, I eat.
Well, what happens, son, is... Remember in slavery, in those years, white people in the United States, if you were a girl, it could take you a while to get dressed. So you would have a black servant girl, slave girl. Well, the water was outside. There was no plumbing and a faucet, all right, in the house. So who has to go get the water? The black servant girl or slave girl to dress up the white girl. Now, who does the hair for the white girl?
Who?
The black girl. The black slave. So that was 100 years ago. Now, in other places, like Honduras, your grandfather, great-grandfather, my grandfather, Rose's dad, right?
Yeah.
I never saw him chopping up the grass. Why?
Why?
He was an executive. He was a rich man. He would hire somebody to do it. But
even though he had his own shit, right?
You know, in a fight, he would defeat me with a machete. In burying his dog, he would defeat me in digging a hole.
A huge hole.
A hole for the dog. Now, what could I defeat him? Well, once I was 20. Let's say I was 20 and he was 20, 30, 40. He could defeat me.
If he was 80, he might be able to.
The problem, his problem came when he was about 50-some years old, and that's when he had different health problems. Like, can you picture Gandhi in the boxing ring against the champion? What would the champion say? Man, get this guy out of here. I'm not gonna hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, nah, I'm just not gonna fight you. Gandhi, how dare you get in here? You know?
The guy's biting your thingy. She's like,
As long as she doesn't get the electric things.
yeah.
Alright, let's do another video.